Well, let's return now to the news that the Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, says there will be no inquiry into the notorious clash between police and miners at Orgreave in 1984. Joining me now from Westminster, Sarah Champion, Labour MP for Rotherham. I mean, you're clearly angry about this.
I have to say I am still spitting feathers about this. I feel that we in South Yorkshire have been betrayed, and how I'm going to go back to my constituents and tell them that they're not worth an inquiry, I just don't know.
There has been a Labour government before this Tory government. Why was nothing done under them?
It's a good question, which unfortunately I don't know the answer to. All that I do know now is the Orgreave Truth and Justice campaign have worked for years to get the documents together. We also had the IPCC inquiry into it. Again, vast amounts of research. So really the ask was not that great. It was to get someone independent to look at that information and come up with what exactly went wrong on that day. And to have that denied, it's a very bitter pill to swallow.
Amber Rudd does make the point that nobody died at Orgreave and that there were no miscarriages of justice.
That's absolutely right, but for 32 years a lot of my constituents have been unable to get jobs. They were blacklisted because they got cautions, because they had to go into court until the court case was thrown out for lack of evidence. Still now I will literally have people that will come to my surgeries and end up in tears when they're reliving that day. You know, they went there, this isn't some mass riot that was going on. This was a sunny day and people going there with their families to protest what they felt was an unjust situation and being terrorised by the police. Still now they're carrying those scars. So if that doesn't demand justice and a line to be drawn under it, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I sort of return to the point. We're talking about 1984, and there have been successive governments since, and you seem to be saying that the decision for an inquiry could only rest with this government. That's not true.
No, that wasn't what I said at all. What I said is we now have a substantial body of independently gathered information, so it will be easy for this government to do it now. Absolutely, we should have had this, 30 years ago. What actually happened the following year was this case went to court and the judge threw it out because it became very clear that the police were unable to substantiate the inquiry. So, we have had this once. Now what we need is for the government of the time to come forward and say, yes, things were happened that were wrong, because the police were drawn from all over the country for this. This wasn't just South Yorkshire. And for me, what I want is, we've got some fantastic officers in South Yorkshire Police now, but they still have the smear of 30 years ago. We really, really just want to draw a line under this so that people can move on.
But Amber Rudd, in her statement, has said that things have changed since 1984 when it comes to policing. We've got a Crown Prosecution Service now that looks at events like this in an independent way. And we also have police and crime commissioners. Now, I know the police and crime commissioner actually in this case is saying he regrets this decision as well. But isn't it fair to say policing has changed, especially in South Yorkshire?
And that's exactly why we needed this inquiry into what went wrong historically, so that we could consign it to history. Whereas now it is still a living sore. We still have grandsons who feel aggrieved to what happened to their granddad, who don't trust the police now, who are completely different people with completely different sort of policies and practices in place, because we can't draw a line on the past. And for people that have been living that for the last 32 years, they want it in the history as well, but it's not. It's still current for them because we can't close it.
Sarah Champion, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.